Now that you know what materials you'll need to edit the MyOpenBook project materials, this brief tutorial will show you how to edit text in iBooks Author. In order to do this, the assumption is you'll be using a Mac and iBooks Author. There is a separate tutorial on how to do this in Adobe InDesign. You'll also need a photo editing tool such as Snagit and Tumultype or an account on Bookery.com to create widgets. There is a separate tutorial on how to create widgets. If you're editing the materials, it means you've already been through the copyright course on EduPaths. But here are 3 quick reminders on what you can and cannot do with the files. Some materials have been intentionally left out of the source file release. These are mostly images that we were not able to get permission for their inclusion in the source files. If you come across one of these, you'll find a blue box with the MyOpenBook logo that says Image Not Included. You will need to either delete or replace these. Also, do not remove the authorship pages. Please feel free to expand upon them and add your own biography to the mix. And finally, the biggest reminder, it is illegal to place copyrighted materials within your own version of the book. This includes, but is not limited to, things like reproducibles from a textbook series. Refer back to the copyright course in EduPaths for information on where to find materials licensed for use and reuse. You will be going through the following 3 steps. You'll have to first open your source file in iBooks Author, make your edits, additions, and updates, and then finally export your book somewhere your students can download them. Step 1. Opening and editing the source files in iBooks Author. To open your files in iBooks Author, you will need to first launch the iBooks Author program, and then move your mouse to Open an Existing File. By clicking on this, you will bring up a drop-down box that allows you to choose the file from wherever it was that you downloaded it. Once the file is open, make sure that you're working with the book that you want, and you're already part of the way through this process. Step 2. Making your edits. iBooks Author is the definition of what you see as what you get editing. What this means is they have set up predefined text boxes for you to either type your information into or copy and paste from another program. In a lot of cases, if you've used any other Apple products, it has a very similar look, feel, and layout. If you want to, for example, add a text box, you click the Add a Text Box. If you want to add any predefined shapes, such as our trademarked blue box, you click on Shapes and create what you want. You can even double-click in these to type. If you want to include a table, you can use the Table button to actually create it and the Inspector to change things around. You can also include charts, widgets, which there is a separate tutorial for, and you can even show and hide some of the guides. A very cool feature about iBooks Author also includes the preview button, where if you connect your iPad with the lightning cable, you can click on the preview button and actually see what this looks like on an iPad before you export it. We recommend copying all of the text over into a Word document or a Pages document and making all of your suggested changes there. Then you can highlight the text again and paste back in any of your edits. Some of you may prefer for the books to be presented differently in terms of concepts. If that's the case, think of the side panel here as PowerPoint and all of these chapters being your slides. You can cut a chapter and move it further into the book should you so wish, and all of the page numbers will realign themselves when you export. You can also do the same thing with a section, where you can copy a section or cut a section and move it into a later portion of the book. The Intro Media tab plays our MyOpenBook promo. You can feel free to delete this, but not the authorship pages. Another cool feature as you go through iBooks Author is that you can highlight a word and make it a glossary definition simply by clicking Add Term. This will then add this to the glossary, which is constantly updated. Once you've gone through and made any of the changes to the materials that you like, you will be on to Step 3. Step 3. Exporting your final product. Please note there is also a separate tutorial on this that goes into a little more detail. When you have finished making any of your desired changes to the MyOpenBook materials, you will need to either publish it, should you have a developer account with Apple, or you're going to want to export it. There's a longer video that explains the different export options coming later, but in a nutshell, you're going to go to File, Export, and you're going to choose one of 3 different options, either iBooks, PDF, or text. Once you've chosen your option, keeping in mind that if you're publishing to the iBook store, you'll be able to update publication numbers, version numbers. You'll click on the Next button. You'll choose where to save it. You'll click the Export button, and iBooks Author will do its thing. When it's finished, you'll have an iBooks file that by double-clicking on, it should open up in iBooks for you to preview and view.